What's up, guys? I'm not a jigging guru, but I've been doing it for a while, and it's by far my favorite style of fishing. It's just addictive, yeah. And I'd like to share some tips that may help you or not. So yeah, let's see. All right, let's talk about rods now. Uh, Jigging rods, jigging mechanical jigging rods or speed jigging rods, they tend to be a bit shorter, and also they have a bigger handle. Handle is this area here. So you see this area from here to here. This is the handle. The reason it's having a bigger handle, you have more angle between your biceps and your forearm, which makes more comfortable to apply the jigging technique. So something that was quite confusing for me when I started jigging, uh, buying rods, it's some brands will give some information like this rod is made for lines from 24 to 37 kilos, and others will give you this information plus the lures that you should be using with this rod. So like this rod here, this rod it's S wrap from Catch, and here I don't know if it will be possible to see because the autofocus is not so good. So here you have the information, the name of the rod and the how long is the rod. It's 162 centimeters long. And on the other side here, you have the information. It's a rod made for lures from 150 to 250 grams. So much easier to I recommend if you are not sure uh, what you are buying, so you try to find rods that you have the information on it. And just to give you guys an idea, if you buy a rod that says um, it's for 24 to 37 kilos, I would use something from 200 to 400 grams on it. So more, just to give you one direction, a direction, more or less. It's not precisely, but it's something like that, right? So talking about lures now. Try to use lures that are thinner and longer than the bulkier ones. The reason, it will have less drag on the water, less drag, less effort. You will save energy at the end of the day, and it will make all difference, believe me. Also, pay attention on the quality of the assistant hook that it has. I usually try to buy something that I don't have to change anything. I just tie my leader on the solid ring and drop it on the water. That's it. So choosing the weight, my recommendation is have a good difference, a good range of lures. So with different weights and different colors as well. The reason, sometimes you'll be fishing and the current changes all the time, so you have to change the lure, and having only one, it's something that not really useful. You'll be likely to lose your lure as well. So have more than one. I would say at least five with you, with different weights. So 150, 200, 300, something like that. So at the place, on the place I usually fish, it's something from 20 to 50 meters deep. I usually use more lures that are from 150 to 300 grams. That it works really well for me. But of course, sometimes I have to go even further when the current is too strong. Yeah, so having a good range of lures on your bag, it's the way to go. So let's talk about reels now. There are three main features I look for when I'm about to buy a new reel. One, it's how heavy it is, the drag system, and the gear ratio. If I'm using a reel that's too heavy, I won't be able to keep jigging all day long. So it's something that I really like, I really enjoy to do, and that's the reason why I try to buy the lightest gear as possible. Um, the drag system, when fishing over reefs and pinnacles and close to the rocks, uh, if you don't have a good drag system, you won't have the control of the situation, and you want to have the control of the situation. That's why a good drag system, it's really important. So this, it's a GJ 5000 from Catch. It has a massive 30 kilos of drag. It's a lot. I mean, it's too much. So yeah, something, I would say something with at least 10 kilos. You can land some fish, you can hook and land some fish. That's totally fine. But the more, the better. And finally, the gear ratio. I like for me, it's a personal taste. Won't have too much difference on your fishing, but yeah, it's something that I like. The higher gear ratio for me, the better, because I can move the lure in a higher speed through the column water. So it's about a personal taste. It's something that I like. But not only, just to mention, you something that you have to pay attention when looking the gear ratio. Not only the gear ratio, try to find out on the brand's website the amount of line it retrieves per crank. So let's say the same, if you have two different reels, they in the description of them, they say they have 5:1 gear ratio. So would be the same. So but they can retrieve a different amount of line. That's due to the spool size and other factors. So try just to pay attention on how much line it retrieves as well. So I would say I like something that retrieves at least 100 centimeters per crank. So would say 1 meter per crank, 1 meter each time you wind. So yeah, that's it. I reckon that's all. All right. Let's talk about lines. I usually go from 50 to 80 pounds braid, depending on the gear I'm using, and it can be multicolored or not. So multicolor would help you a lot, especially if you were fishing and you see some school of fish on your fish finder. They're 20 meters deeper. You can drop your lure just right there. So it's a cool feature. Um, Regarding the leader, I usually use 5 to 7 meters of leader tied on my braid, 80 pounds. So I would recommend using something from 100 to 150, more or less. The reason why I use 80 pounds, it's because it gives me more stretch and I like it. But it's a personal choice. I had more luck using this setup, so it works for me. But again, the most people that you see jigging, they use something from 100 to 150. Yeah, that's more common, I would say. So actually, I connect my leader to my braid using a FG knot, but I know that many people use the PR knot as well. I've tried once. It's a really good knot, low profile. Both are low profile, strong and reliable, both FG and PR knot. So I would recommend both. The only difference, the FG knot, you can do it manually, Even the PR knot you can do it manually, but it's harder to do it. So the best way to tie it is to use a coil, and I don't like to use the coil. That's the reason why I go mostly using the FG knot. And to tie the lure to my leader, I use the chain knot. I tried to use the U knot sometimes, but with no lucky. Yeah, that's it. So chain knot to tie the lure to the leader, and FG or PR knot to tie the braid to the leader. All right, guys, last few tips and we are done. Yeah. So when fishing, try to change the speeds of your lure. What I do, I start tapping once, then wind twice, tap once, wind twice, tap once, wind twice. Then I tap once, move to tap once, wind once, tap once, wind once. Then I try to do different movements with the rod. Yeah, it's something. Try to identify the fish patterns on that day, so and see what works better, and keep fishing on the style that you found out that it would be working better. It would be working better. So something else that I could say, jigging for kingfish is quite tiring process, so it's very physically demanding. I would I would say first time when I was jigging for kingfish, I couldn't fish for more than 2 hours in a row, and it was really tough. I couldn't go further, and I always did some kind of exercise, sports, and yeah, but it's a different group of muscles that you will be working sometimes, and it's you have to get used to it. So each time you go out, you get better, and it's always everything in life. So if you practice, you get better. uh, just be patient about it. And finally, my I would say it would be my best advice that I could give you guys. uh, you try to you should learn how to read your fish finder. So what I mean by that, try to identify the species based on what you see and what you catch. So let's suppose I caught a snapper now, and I saw on my screen uh, some marks. Oh, that's related. It's a snapper. Then I caught a kingfish. That mark is a kingfish. In this way, you'll be on the right spot fishing kingfish, and you won't waste your energy fishing on the wrong spot. So that's really important when it comes to jigging for kingfish. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And that's it.